what can I say? I love this tank. That's all I can say. I'm going to try and go over as much detail as I can on what I've done to it. First and foremost, it has to be said, a huge thank you goes out to Marneus. I never would ever have made my own kit bash, to be honest, especially not one as cool as this. You know, if you don't think this tank fits in with the 40k world, and you don't think this would work well in a 40k game, put comments below with a really good reason why you don't think this would be a good addition to the 40k universe. I think it's epic. Okay, 40k designers, take note. Rubber wheels, not those crappy little plastic things you get on the squad bikes. Well, in fact, you know, talking of wheels, let's go into it. They are rubber and they look so realistic. What I've actually done is I've made the pigments go right into the cracks, and as I caked all the pigments into the wheels, let's get a bit closer if I can, as I caked it into the wheels there, I got my fingers and I rubbed off all of the excess pigment on the edge of the tyres, because what you'd find on a real car, you wouldn't have the dirt on the tops of the tyre tread, because obviously as it's rolling around it keeps getting wiped off. But just like if you have dog muck in your trainers, it's going to be all in the grooves, but it's not going to be on the top there, so it just adds to that realism there. I've airbrushed all the way around the bottom. I used Bestial Brown, Vallejo's game colour equivalent, which is Beastie Brown, and I also used Vallejo's game colour Earth, and that one goes further up the Earth colour. It's a much lighter tone, so that adds more of a dusty effect. When you're doing a tank like this, if you're taking your time and you're really being careful, you have to take things into consideration. Example, if you actually look at the tank, everything here is all weathered, it's all dirty, dusty, muddy. But you'll notice one exception, this little hatch here. Now, it would have been so easy for me to have just airbrushed all the way across this panel here, but then it wouldn't have been very authentic, would it? Because obviously this hatch has just been popped down for the sniper that's inside there to take some pot shots at some dirty rebel scum. And basically, when it pops down, it's going to be nice and clean because it's on the inside. So yeah, I had to mask that panel off because obviously there's going to be no debris, dust and dirt or grime on it. So that's that. Going into some of the rust I added. Now, as you're probably aware from my other video, I had a slight mishap. Basically, what I was doing is I was going to paint the tank like in an old school technique. I was going to heavy wash it like with a bad black wash, but obviously using the Vallejo black shade, and then I was going to bring up the highlights from there. As I was doing that, this is before any gloss varnish or any varnish was put over the model. I did this and it had that effect, so it wasn't a reaction to the varnish or anything like that. The varnish was a stage after that had already happened, because I decided then to do a pin wash with the inks and forget the black shade wash. Yeah, I scrapped that after I seen the effects. So I don't know. I mean, the chalk underneath. A YouTuber explained the reason why that happened. It could have been that I was using like a cup of water that I'd had paints in, and some of those pigments got mixed in with it. So that's understandable. But yeah, I'll give it some more shots, but I won't ever be using it on a tank like this again. Not until I've got the stuff under control. Let's go over some of the decal work. Now, decals as well. I made sure I put down as much decal, as many decals as I could. I wanted it to look really cool, so I've added numbers to both sides in exactly the same place. Let's turn this around and get it into shot. and add a tiny bit of script work as well. I did a lighting effect there on the lantern using the airbrush, and that's fairly simple. I painted it orange, and then I used a yellow right in the center, and I just kept very lightly squirting it and then bringing it back bit by bit by bit, so then you get the radial source light around the edge of the lantern. I've done it also on this light. Oh, you'll notice here on this light that this has been added. Mine has put a cool eagle thing on the back there, but I thought it lacked a bit of detail. There wasn't the fine detail that was all around the rest of the tank. The eagle looked a bit chunky. It didn't look bad, but I had a rummage around in my bits box and I saw this, and I thought it looked quite cool. It's a homing beacon. I thought it fitted in with the tank anyway. So same sort of source lighting's been applied there. You'll see on the back. Sorry, camera's getting away with me. You'll see on the back there how the red bleeds down the shiny metal tube to make it again look that much more authentic. You'll notice anything that I wanted glass has been hit with gloss varnish as well, like on the panels on the back of that. I think it's called cupolas, I believe. Could be wrong there. So they're all hit with gloss varnish. You'll notice as well, there's a difference between authenticity and artists that'll know this. Sometimes you have to paint things to make it look right. I'll give you an example here. The actual Space Marine helmet there is way lighter than I normally would paint for an Ultramarine, but it has to look slightly lighter than the actual colour of the tank to make it stand out and pop. Now the lighting that I've got at the moment is not the best, but I've made sure that anything that goes up, the higher it gets, the lighter it gets in colour. Apart from the Space Marines, which are a much lighter in colour, well, I'd say much lighter in colour, a lighter contrast, just to make sure that they stand out more. Let's get a close shot of that guy in the tank there. I've really gone to town on this tank. I mean, when you got something like this, it's absolutely begging for all, like little lights inside the hatch there, that are just begging to be painted. There's just a few little things that I need to go over. I've not painted that light in there yet. It's a two-minute jobby. But other than that, I think it's pretty much all painted, to be honest. I've zoom into this. All the metal as well was used bolt gun metal, which was the Vallejo Model Air. I had problems with that before, but it's not the actual paint itself. Vallejo colours have a tendency to separate quite a bit in the bottle. So the top tip I can recommend, I know others have used it as well, is again, sorry, because some of these videos I watched 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, so if I'm not giving you credit, I do apologise. Put a comment below and say that it was you, and I'll give credit. Like recently I had a message from UD3 Unique Paratus, I believe. I'll try and put a name down, and I've got myself some Windoline now, so I'm going to try that in my airbrush. But he's been really helpful, sending me some good stuff, and I'm sure if anyone's seen his videos, you'll know that he's a quality painter. So I definitely trust the words that he says. But anyway, yeah. Going off that now and back into what I was saying a moment ago was basically they separate basically. So the best thing for you to do is to try and put an agitator in there. So if you've got any ball bearings or any like glass little beads or anything like that, and then you shake the pot up like basically, and then all the sediment at the bottom that's separated will mix straight back in, and then when you pour it out, you'll get the right consistency. And this time around, I found that it come out really nice, just like my other Model Air metallics. And as you can see, what I did there to get like a really shiny effect, everything's been hard edged, highlighted, as you can see on the metal racks there with Vallejo Model Air steel, and I just run the brush sideways along everything basically to make all the metal pop. It's a bit of a nerdy serial number there. And I think I put another serial number, yeah I did, on there. It all just adds to the believability of the vehicle really. Let's have a look at the Sergeant, let's see. I did a bit of source lighting also on his, let's get him out, shall we? It's not going to want to focus. I'll put him down here and we'll have a look at him down here. Did a source lighting on his Auspex there. I needed one of those about a week or two ago, to be honest. And hard edge highlights of steel against the bolt gun metal works really well. It just makes everything just pop, as you can see here. It's fairly straightforward to do as well. So that's that guy chucking back on there. But when Marnia said he was going to give me this tank, I did say, I says, I'll do you proud, I'll make sure I do a nice job on it. And I think I've achieved that. I think that's it really, but yeah, what an awesome tank. I'm going to cut it and I'm just going to do one quick comparison with some tanks side by side so you can see what it looks like scale wise. Right, well this is my Rhino and this is this tank, and I'll just do a proper side by side. And you can see, I think it's awesome. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing GW kits, far from it. I love them. I love modelling their tanks and I love painting their tanks. But I mean, as you can see, the detail on the Rhino there, and then we look at the detail on that tank. There's no comparison. I've not completely painted underneath, but I'll show you what I mean by detail. Look at the struts on the wheels. You've even got like a part of the engine. I don't know whether I'm getting into shot there or underneath, but the detail is just, it's unbelievable. I mean, I've got to be honest, I came into a few problems with this. These aerials, I broke one of them off, I had to glue it back on. Some of the top aerials, I broke it off as well. Unfortunately, I've not replaced them. Well, to be honest, if you're wargaming with this tank, it's not good to have long plastic aerials, because there's no way you're getting that in an army bag without snapping the aerials. It's pretty much impossible. They're like less than 1 mil in thickness and they're about, you know, yay high. But what I want to do, and I'm throwing a question out there to people in the community, I want to put some whip aerials on, like you see on the tanks that, you know, move about. What material should I use and where's the best to get it? You know, I'm looking at like a cheap option. I can't use any paper clips or anything like that. It's stiff. I want flexible metal really, like a flexible metal rod that I could use as a whip aerial. So any information on that would be real handy. But that's it. Yeah, it's awesome. It really is. I know I'm the one that painted it, and I'm not being big-headed, because I'm just gushing at how awesome the tank is overall. I love it. And the dozer blade worked out really nice in the end. I wasn't happy with the results at the beginning, but as with anything, you got an airbrush and you got pigments, you can do so much, and you make a mistake, you can cover it right up. But yeah, I hope you like it, guys. If there's any questions about it or you want any information, just let me know. And I think that's it really, guys. And I will sort that thing out, because that is really going to do my head in now. Okay guys, catch you on the next one.